All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another market and trade review for today, the 4th of March. And when you look at this, we might watch Bitcoin hit new all-time highs right here live during the recording of this video. We've got to break 69K. We're 200 off. We'll see if we do it. We'll watch that in the background as we go on with it. If you're new here, welcome in. Welcome to the channel. My name is Cash, and we make one of these videos every single night after market close. Taking a look at the market and what is trending, what's going up, what's going down. And we run this paper trade count for educational purposes. We took it from 30K to 216K the beginning of this year, from January 1 to March 1. And we reset the account yesterday or over the weekend, and we are back at it with starting at 10K. And today at the close, we are up $678. We're going to take a look at the trades, where we're at, and what we entered, and why. There is a link for free stock in the description of this video. If you don't have Webull, that's the software or the exchange that I use to trade on. That's what all this is here. And it can look a little intimidating, but it's actually super user friendly. So all you got to do is use that link, sign up, download Webull, open an account, and you can invest as little as $1, $5, and you get free shares of a stock. You can get up to $3,000 worth of free shares. So it's pretty cool. Go ahead and check that out. We both get free stock. It's a win-win. Taking a look today, up 678. We had some big winners on SPY, some losers on SPY, and then all of our swing trades in here are what brought us up and down in different areas. And we were green on a lot of these, and we're up over $1,000 in the day. And then the SPY took a dump at the end of the day. And here is the market overall. Let me take a look about this music here. We'll turn it up just a little bit for y'all. Wonder. Maybe it's a little bit better. Anyway, so this is the SPY today, right? We didn't trade more than $1 range from open right here, 512 to 513, 513.19, like $1 range. It was super boring, right? A lot of chop all in through here. We did catch this drop right here for a little bit of profit, which was nice, and then stopped out pretty quick as we came right back up. And the theta decay was nasty on 0 DTE today because of such a tight range. We were putting in higher highs and higher lows, right? This is an important thing to look at. If you don't know what higher highs and higher lows are, essentially when the stock comes down to make a low, it is a higher low than the last time, right? And a higher high, obviously it's higher than the last time it went up, right? In a certain range period. So here is a higher low, right? It's the top of this, or the bottom of this wick is higher than this one, and another higher one up here. So higher lows and then higher highs input here. And when it finally broke out above that range, it was a massive candle straight up. Don't know where this came from, and not even on that much volume either, right? Which is interesting. And then we saw a big chunk of whale flow come through, of bearish whale flow, over $30 million worth of SPX put flow come through, which was odd when we were bull flagging at this point. But the whales always know something, right? The big money movers always know something. And we tanked the rest of the day, and it drove down a lot of the smaller positions that we have. So that's where the SPY is at, and we're gonna go ahead and turn these on. And tomorrow we will be looking at the opening range in here, the opening range in here, this level in here, which is only $1 range, but it's worth trading. Okay, cool. And then down in here as well. So that's going to be some of our range for tomorrow as we go into the trading day. Taking a good look at Google, this is an interesting one. We're going to take a Google on the daily, right? And we have had this wedge, this channel that was forming in here. And Google has come down, and I drew these in earlier today. Google has come down and is testing the 200 EMA, right? Which is this light blue line in here, the estimated moving average, for the second time since this big break right out in here back in this part of the year of 2023 of last year. And then ripped up, traded above, couldn't quite get above this. So resistance up in here, this trend line channel, and then came down and tested it. And after that, it's interesting, right? It's the same kind of thing. It gapped down on earnings and then it bounced back up, gapped down on earnings. We did bounce back. Now we've come all the way back down here. So I have entered some longs on Google. The RSI is way overbought. The MACD is at the base, it looks like. So a lot of interesting indicators on Google. So I'm long Google here. Some calls, definitely. Looking at that. And now, what about the small names we talked about yesterday, right? That we're going to be doing in this account challenge. We talked about Carvana. We talked about SoFi, Tesla, JFrog, Square, OpenAI, Robinhood, Mara, all these names. Let's take a look at them all. So DraftKings had a good day today. Turn that down a little bit for me. Good day for DraftKings today, as it is definitely forming this cup. Maybe we're going to get a handle and go. We'll see. I'm long DraftKings, and we tried to enter that, right? A lot of these names dumped it open. DraftKings did not, so I tried to buy a dip, which was down in here, and ride that up for the day. Mara, we played at open and took a little bit of profit on this first opening range as Bitcoin was pumping at the open of the day, and then it just bled all day, which is interesting that miners like Mara, right, bled off all day while Bitcoin looked like this all day, right? It's really interesting to know. Not sure why that is, but it's what's happening. Looking at Robinhood on the daily, what kind of candles did we put in today? We rejected a lot off these highs, but we did come down and test. All right, the bottom of this candle was the top of the previous, and so that is an interesting support level for me, and we traded at that for the majority, or couldn't get below that for all the entire day. So we bought down in here on this sweet doji hammer candle right here and a big push up, and so we bought in here. So that trade is, whoops, hood, where is that? Just 12% red. Our DraftKings up 13%, Google up 10%. Looking at Square and AI. AI sold off pretty heavy today. Not super happy about that. It is holding the gap though. We'll see what happens tomorrow if we continue to hold that gap or if we sell off. We're down just a little bit more in after hours. Don't love it, so we'll see what happens. JFrog came down and we're getting a test off the wicks, right? Everything was starting to trend up a little bit and kind of work in our favor. Everything was up 10 to 15%, and all these I've bought 3 weeks out, right? So we're buying time on a lot of these, so we got to see what happens, right? The percentage moves aren't huge because of how much time we have, and that works in our favor if things start to trend down like they are right now a little bit at the close of the day. We do have to take into account that we have some big economic numbers and news coming out this week, so we have to manage our positions accordingly through all of that, right? The fact that we buy time is something that helps us with all of that. Carvana, I still like this. I still like all these names, honestly. And if the market decides to turn around and take a 2% decline like it has so often through this massive run up, right? In here, about a 2% decline. In here, this gap down, this candlestick in here, nothing huge, right? 75 to 67. This is from 77 to 66. It's about a 10-point gain or 10-point decline, right, each time. If that happens again, it's totally fine. I'm all here for it. And we will probably add to these positions if that's the case, if we don't see like a real serious sell-off happening, right? Because the market as a whole, there is no sign of any sort of sell-off. We just keep doing weekly higher highs, daily higher highs and higher lows, right? So it's perfect bull run right now, perfect setups, and really kind of simple to trade while this is happening. I'm assuming the market conditions are going to shift though, because things have been going like this for a long time. I think this is the longest win streak since like 1972, I read, or something like that, something absurd. So we will see where the paper account goes from here. Looks like Bitcoin can't quite get above it. That would be cool if it had done it while we were live streaming this video, but Bitcoin most likely will break all-time highs today. So the account, $600. We're following all of our rules, right? The strategy for this, if you don't know, is we are risking 10% of the account on a trade. So $1,000 on a day trade, right? So $1,000 from 10,000, so 10%, and then our stop loss is 30%. And so when everything is said and done, we're only losing, really risking about 1% of the account when that is set at 1 to 3%. So it's a pretty good strategy that we're following. Anyways, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. Go ahead and give this a like and a subscribe. I appreciate all the love you guys have been showing. And remember, if your goals and dreams don't scare you, probably not big enough. See you guys tomorrow.